She walks through the door. She wishes for something more. With one look she melts all my faculties aroused. With one look she melts me. The echoes remain, oh, the echoes remain, oh, the echoes remain, oh, how they burn and they change us for a while. What was that you screamed at night? Your only belief was the fight, oh, the fight of someone else's heart. When the winds take you down, let your heart remain. Oh, abstain from that thought that you're warlike. My friend, put it down till the end. You'll stand or you'll be free. Oh, look at me, they'll say, look at me, how they'll scream in the center of someone else's dream. Oh, we wanted to feel something between this and the sky. Oh, why would we ever want to look away? What would you say in the end if your only true friend were the efforts of moon spinning in the sky? Oh, wonder why in the end when there is no end. Every 4 seconds, a child dies of poverty. 22,000 children every single day. 11 million children every 500 days. And we cry about 600 in Nepal. We cry about so many silly things. The outrageous cost of a pay-per-view fight. $100, $99.99 to buy this pay-per-view fight once a year. $94.07 from every U.S. not even citizen, but anyone who would be counted in the system there are 318.9 million people in the United States. I don't know what demographics are quantified in that number, but if all 318.9 million people quantified, counted in that number, were to pay $94.07 every year, global hunger would be solved. So imagine less than $100, global hunger solved. The UN estimates that $30 billion a year would solve global hunger. Pepsi Cola, how much money did you make last year? What were your profits? Coca-Cola, what were your profits? So areas are decimated in the world, and you're the first to go in and help rebuild, but that's only because you have a stronger standing advertising. And now someone is walking down the street. The society is rebuilding itself, and there you are, Coca-Cola, to help rebuild society. Good for you. It makes sense to you financially. It's a business move. It's a good business move. Because it's advertising where you're inculcating an idea, the idea that Coke helps you. What are you doing in the rest of the world, Coke? You're giving everyone this poison. That's not good for you. None of it. And don't pretend like it is. You're selling poison. So, you could give $30 billion of your profits. You could at least help out. There are 318.9 million Americans, or at least people counted in that number, however they count them. You know, if not all of us give $94.07, there's some room for you to help solve global hunger also. Coke, you're one company of many. Pepsi, you're one company of many. When you put your advertising in our eyes, and we understand this and you understand this, you are telling us more than, hey, if you're thirsty, have this. It's an alternative. It's something you could do. It's a choice. Yeah, we'll make some money on it, but you'll lose a little money on it, but you'll have all of this to gain. So look what you're gaining from this. This is great. This is wonderful. We're making a business transaction here. We're able to stay in business. You're able to stay happy. I mean, you could be happy no matter what, but at least you're getting what you want. And what you want is what we've told you you want. And so there's something about that right there. What you want is something we have told you you want. Think about that. What if that advertising were nowhere? Of course, no one would purchase your product, know your product existed, unless people were just talking about it. And they saw, oh, they go into their store, they're looking at their drink choices, and they see your product, and they think, wow, that's a great product. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna drink. Excuse me. That. Okay. Cool. We can solve this. And we can solve this instantly. We live in a world where you can transport goods, services, money, anything from one place to another in absolutely no time. So let's figure out a central source. Let's organize this together. We can solve global hunger. We can solve global poverty. We can see each other as members of a species. The conversation ends there. And if you want to compartmentalize the populations of the world, the members of the human race, if you need to do that to understand how it is that we all fit together, and who we are and who you are and how you fit into the universe, etc., then good. That's good. But do not build laws or construct ideas that restrict the liberty of others in the process of your doing this, of your compartmentalizing us. For example, we have these imaginary lines drawn on pieces of paper that we've created. They're called maps. Basically, we look at the water on this planet, and we look at the land on this planet, and we draw a picture and says, and that kind of reads and shows to us, demonstrates to us, this is where the water is, this is where the land is. Then we start to get a little bit more detailed, and we say, okay, well, these are mountains here, so watch out, because you're going to have to climb over these, you know. Oh, and here's a big lake right here, so, you know, maybe it's worth climbing over that lake right there. That's fresh water, you know. You want to find some fresh water? There's a lot of fresh water right there. Need something to drink? Can't go to the ocean. Go check out that lake. All right. So, and then we'll put other details, like there are a lot of people that live here, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think we all understand the concept behind the creation of a map and its usefulness and its purpose. Now, when we run into problems, however, when we get egos involved, at one point or another, there's a human being that says, you know what, you kind of pissed me off just then, so don't cross that line. Seriously, don't cross that line. And you know what? Not just you, but all your kin too. None of them cross that line. You go ahead and try. You see what happened. You try to cross that line. You see what happened real quick. I'll tell you one thing. I've been thinking about that for a long time. I'd like to see you cross that line. I'd like to see what happened. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. You cross it if you want to. You test it out. I'm scientist in heart. I'm happy to test that. Cross that line. See, I got these things here, and that's what people are thinking. I've got these things here. You've got those things there. Those are yours. These are mine. And it started in a good place because it was like you were born on that island. Call it a continent if you like, okay? You were born on the African continent. And you've got these very interesting fruits that we don't have over here on this North American continent. I'm just going to go back to calling them islands, because that's all they are. It's where the land is floating in the water. It's where the mountains of the sea are so tall that not even ocean can cover those things. It's crazy. Like, these mountains are just that massive. The ocean's like, nah, it's too high. I'm just gonna chill down here. I'm just gonna hang out down here because, I mean, this planet is just spinning around, and this centrifuge is pulling all of this water towards the surface, and it's like holding it on the surface. And so water's always going to find the lowest point because there's this thing called gravity that just pulls it down and keeps it down, and it makes it very lethargic when it comes to climbing mountains. Good luck watching any water anywhere in the world try to climb a mountain. Water's like, no, this place, I'm out of here. You know, and water always will find the fastest way off that mountain. You know, good skiers, good kayakers, and stuff, I suppose, water molecules. So anyway, that's a tangent. My point is, at one point or another, somebody said, on my island I have mangoes, and on your island you have apples. And you know what? I don't like that you just had sex with my daughter without talking to me first. So, your apples, we don't need any, and you're never getting another mango. And I know how much you love them. So, later. Oh, and I'm taking your dog. So, then, it's like, you know what? And then there's a tit for tat. There's a back and forth, and at one point or another, it's just like they just can't reconcile, and Grandpa dies, and all that business, and whatever else. And the feud dies at one point or another, but there's always this like, oh, f*** you guys, you know what I mean? And it's because that person left something indelible, something that just will not go. What's interesting is you watch the movie The Dark Crystal. There's some business there where they're talking about words, or letters, letters, writing, words that stay. That's what they say. Oh, what's that? What are those weird pictures, shapes? Oh, that's writing. What's writing? Words that stay. A line on a map, in a feud, something like that involved. And whatever the reason is. Sometimes it's just like, well, we just discovered this area here. That's as far as we've explored, and cool, that's as far as we're going to explore. But then eventually meet up with other people, or other people start exploring further, and we just discover, and we have this whole planet, and now here we are, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. There's evolution involved as far as evolution of a species, societally speaking, etc., etc. So, we perpetuate this difference between ourselves. You're born on that island. I'm born on this island. So you want the stuff on my island, you're going to have to work for it, man, because I had to work for it. Well, the other person is saying, was like, you want the stuff on my island? Well, you think I haven't been working? Fine. You want the stuff on my island? You got to work for it. What's up? And so there's this trade, and there's this barter system, and all this stuff that ends up working out because not everybody wants to kind of do that kind of work, but at the same time, it's like, look, I've been doing all this work. So, look, here's the proof that I've been doing all this work. I got all these apples and stuff. You want mangoes? You want apples? I want mangoes? Let's just trade them. You know what I mean? There you go. Bam, 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 bam. I got my mangoes. You got your apples. It works out really well because check it out. Mangoes are in season between just in this time of the year, and apples are over here. Yeah, so check it out. When you're not eating mangoes because you ain't got none but the ones you stored up, apple season. So hit us up. We'll work it out. We'll trade them up. You'll get some mangoes. I'll get some apples. Oh wait, sorry, the other way around. You know what I mean? That's how many apples you're going to have. You're going to be not thinking in terms of mangoes anymore. You're going to be thinking in terms of apples because it's you and me, brother. Yeah. Nice. Cool. But then you start running into other things, not just apples and mangoes. I need a shirt made. This person makes a shirt. I need a boat. This person makes boats. I need a fishing rod. This person makes fishing rod. I don't like to fish. This person loves to fish. Etc., etc., etc. I gotta build a house. I gotta build a building. I gotta, whatever it is. We all do different things, and we contribute to society in a different way. And so we carry around these numbers that say, hey, this is how much you've contributed to society for today, and you can use these numbers, keep them in your pocket, because they're special. They tell people who don't know you how much you're worth, because then you can use those numbers to get the things that they're doing without having to, like, you know, I mean, maybe you're selling mangoes, and this guy's selling shirts, but he's already got plenty of mangoes, or he just doesn't like mangoes. What are you going to do then? You need a shirt. So just prove to that person that you do contribute to society, and maybe he's not getting your mangoes, but somebody else is getting your mangoes, and things are working out okay, and you're doing a good job, you're working hard, you're honest, you know, you're getting up, you're doing that thing that has to happen in order to process all these mangoes from the trees to people's hands, you know, so good for you. Good for you. I recognize that. I hate mangoes. Be honest with you, I hate mangoes. I'm not a big fan. But, I know you need a shirt. I can see that. You're not even wearing a shirt. I make shirts. So you got some numbers? I mean, the way I look at it, I don't know. What is my shirt worth? How many mangoes would it be worth? It would be like if I liked mangoes, if like mango was my favorite fruit, I'd say like I would need like for one shirt, because of how much work I do. How much work do you do for a mango? Oh man, you're out there like this and this. You haven't really quantified, but it's just a lot of work. Okay, all right. So I see the same thing. We're probably working just as hard. Okay, so like I don't know, like X number of mangoes. Oh yeah, X number of mangoes. That's fair. Okay, cool. So I would sell X number of mangoes for Y dollars. You know, I think I'd sell for like Y dollars. So I think if you pay me Y dollars, then that's the same as X number of mangoes. Sorry, I got that backwards again, didn't I? Because we're just so social here. It's like I understand like I'm kind of thinking of you like me, and you and me like you, and the other. I see I'm getting confused again. My point is, I'm gonna buy that shirt from you for Y dollars because I want that shirt. That's a good shirt. Yeah. So that happens, and then there's this value that's carried around. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? And it's kind of washed out. It's just started out with that bartering system and stuff, just saying, hey, you need this, but then like once people get stockpiled or they don't like things and stuff, then it's, you know, what are you left with? You've got to find a different method, and so currency begins, and then and then our currency even takes a change in its evolution, and people aren't really even using paper bills or anything like that currency anymore. But now they're just carrying around this plastic with these that represent numbers that are saying, okay, well, and again, it's just numbers. Like this is what you're worth, and people can even get like pretend numbers saying, oh, this is what I'm worth. I mean, it's continually saying, this is what you're worth. This is what you're worth. This is how much you are contributing to society. When you break it down, that's what these numbers originally represented. But our system's gotten all messed up now, because now we're at a point where the world is run by money. And there's no way around that. And anyone who works in the financial system, and anyone who does not work in the financial system still works within the financial system, and that's how you know that the world is run by money. So, and that's the world. That's not just one country or another. As long as it's happening within our species, then it's proving to be problematic, because we no longer use these numbers to represent our worth, how we're contributing to society in some way or another. Instead, we're using these numbers to perpetuate this belief that this is what I'm worth. Well, what are you really good at doing? I once met someone who the only thing she could say about what she was good at doing, her only talent, she said that she had, was making people believe that she was better than she is, or something along those lines, making people believe something along those lines. I can't remember how she worded it. She was very eloquent, and she had a very concise way of putting it. And of course, she had many other qualities that were outstanding and wonderful about her as well. But that's what she said. Like that was her like go-to line, and it was funny because everybody could recognize the other talents that she had as well, and such. But also, everybody could recognize that talent in her because she was very good at doing that. I get sidetracked. My point is that's the essence of this credit system, and that's the essence of this, like, as well, taking care of one's own, this concept. One's own is all of us, ladies and gentlemen. One's own is everyone. And that's the end of it. We're a human species. And there's nothing, the only thing more special about a connection by blood. The only thing special about that is the circumstances. Just like I consider it to be very special that I was born in Virginia. I really love Virginia. And I really love being able to say that I was born in Virginia. It means a lot to me, considering the history there. But I had nothing to do with it. It happened to me. If you were born into royalty, it happened to you. If you were born into poverty, it happened to you. If you were born with dark skin, it happened to you. If you were born with light skin, it happened to you. Without an arm, it happened to you. In this country or that country, it happened to you. And that happened to every single human being on this planet. And yet we still perpetuate this idea of, well, it happened to you that you were born there, and it happened to me that I was born here. So I'm reaping all these benefits of this, of just all of this just wonderfulness on this side of the line here. And oh man, you guys will get it someday, you know. If I can figure out how to help you out or something, you know, maybe I'm sure I probably will. You know what I mean? But I got to take care of my own first, you know. Otherwise, like, I just don't know how I can manage. You know, it's kind of like the airplane mentality of like, you know, you gotta cover your mouth with your oxygen mask before you help the person next to you. So I think I'm out of time here, and yeah, and if there's one thing that I can say to cap this off, please remember, every 4 seconds a child is dying of poverty. That's 22,000 children a day. We need to organize ourselves as a global society. And once we are organized as a global society, not recognizing these borders and things like that, religions don't do it, corporations don't do it, they just see it as an obstacle. Religions don't even see it as otherwise a way of like controlling the people more, because it's like, hey, you live in this country, make sure you obey those rules. But really, we're all just Christian, or we're all just this or that, and let's unify together as a world, as a species. But because we're unified as a species, we need to pull this other group in here so we can become stronger. And as we become stronger, we're pointing again, hey, make sure you're obeying the laws of this country. And that's why the buildings that we see all over the world that point to past human civilizations, they point to the methods of control of relics of government and relics of religion. It's this power situation systems. And we can step outside of this and see ourselves as a species, and I feel like it's something absolutely doable. Absolutely doable. So once we're completely organized, then we'll take peaceful measures always, at all points in time. Peaceful measures, love at the center of everything. If one life is lost, it's too many. And we must mourn that. And we do not mourn that through violence, but through peace and love. And we will give up our own lives in this process, but we recognize that we live forever. So what will you do? Peaceful neighbor, peaceful brother, peaceful sister. What will you do?